Hey everyone, welcome back to Talking Sense. It's Sunday, so we're going to do a Sunday sample today. We're going to scrounge through this box and see what comes out. Sunday sample. It's been a little while again, it's been a few weeks I think. So yeah, I hope you're all doing really well. Hope you're all staying healthy, all that kind of jazz. Yeah, it's been a little while to do the Sunday sample, so I thought we'd give it a go. Not a lot else going on. I haven't really been buying much, obviously, because of the lockdown. Got the Art and Olfaction Awards coming up. Was super depressed to see not depressed, didn't really bother me that much, but you know, super surprised maybe to see Squid get nominated for Best Indie, along with B, which I think B should definitely have more of a chance than Squid. I still think Squid's a dreadful perfume. But you know, I'm not quite willing to concede that it might just not be my taste. But yeah, otherwise, the Art and Olfaction Awards, check it out. It's really interesting. I saw, I think it's best artisan perfume. There's a dessert perfume in there, and House of Matriarch, Bonsai. I hope that does really well because that's a really great perfume. So yeah, you should check that out. A little bit of news, I guess. Yeah, let's have a look, shall we? So basically, if you don't know, if you do know, I think people that watch these videos probably already know, I just stick my hand in this box, have a rummage, pull it out, and test something out for the day. I'm going to pull out this one again, another one of these Les Senteurs, because I never pull them out, and let's just give it a go. Plus I know that it's probably going to be half decent, and I kind of want to smell something that's half decent. Okay, I'm tempted to put it back, but that's not the way Sunday sample works, so we're gonna smell it. Right, okay. This is Tauer fragrances, so nothing wrong against Tauer, I'm alright with that. But it's called Rose Vermeille by Tauer. I wasn't really up for a rose, but we'll give it a go, and I'll do my best to be honest about it. And you know, I like Tauer fragrances. I've never smelt this one. Oh, okay. I've changed my mind. This smells beautiful in the bottle rather. So it's a Dibbler Dabbler. So let's give some of that jazz. Find these a bit strange usually, rather than a sprayer, but we'll slap it on and see how we get on. Never really know how much I'm supposed to be kind of dabbing with my Dibbler, but that'll do, and we'll see. Or tell you what, I've totally changed my mind. What a beautiful smell this is. Wow, okay. Fresh soapy opening, like fresh soapy rose. Very fresh though, which I'm glad, because I felt like something. It's quite warm today actually in England. Say by warm, that's by England standards, so you know, don't get too excited. But it's quite warm. So I was hoping for something fresh, and this is it. This is really fresh. It's like a fresh, soapy, clean rose. It feels like there's like some citrus sort of stuff in there. Oh, hello, Kat. Are you coming to smell Rose Vermeille? There's like some citrus in here, and smells like a kind of like berries sort of vibe. So you got like a fresh soapy rose, some berries, and some citrus right now is what I'm getting. Quite light. I feel like some lavender. But like there's a floral, and it's not rose, and it smells a little bit. It's got that kind of powdery Parma violet, almost like lavender sort of thing. So it might be a violet, it might be a lavender. I'm not sure. If it's a violet, then that's going to be really weird, because last week I went on a bit of a violet binge and was looking for violet perfumes. So if you know any violet perfumes that you recommend, whack that in the comments. I bought an SP Parfum one and Guerlain Insolence. But anyway, back to the Tauer. At the moment, that's what I'm getting, like a really fresh, clean, soapy rose, a little bit of citrus that kind of brightens it and brings it up, and like some red berries, definitely like a kind of raspberry kind of vibe. Quite a strong sort of like raspberry and strawberry kind of thing. quite nice. And I think there's probably more going on there. That it feels like there's perhaps like a ambery base to it, but that's not really there yet. I think that'll come out later. So I'll wear this for the rest of the day and come back and, like, as usual, talk about the dry down, and I'll talk about like how I felt about it over the day. So yeah, I'll see you a bit later. Cheers. Okay, I'm back. It's the evening. So Tauers Rose Vermeille. I think it might be called Vermeille. I think I was calling it Vermeille, but I think it might be called Vermeille. But anyway, I can't speak French, so let's not pretend. The notes for it are, because I looked it up, obviously. The notes for it are lavender, bergamot, lemon, rose, violet, raspberry, sandalwood, amber, tonka, vanilla. So I have to say, like, I smelt like most of that right from the start, and it's super transparent. That's exactly what you're gonna get. Like, you get all of that really clearly, really cleanly. Like each note, like perfectly discernible. Like, I think. Right from the start, pretty much. Like, even the amber, like when it opens, you can feel like it's not a strong amber, but you can feel that there's gonna be like a heavy amber base later on. Yeah, right from the start, I think it's really clear note listing. I think that's like absolutely perfect. So what did I think about it? I've been wearing it all day, and I was quite interested in that opening, right? It's a really interesting perfume. I really liked it. It has a few stages, and I don't like them all. The first stage, so when you spray it, when it opened, I really enjoyed that. That was really nice. It was like this really clean, fresh rose, quite soapy, but okay. Like, it was definitely soapy, definitely, but it was okay. You know, it stayed on the right side of soapy. It never kind of tipped over any edge to sort of oblivion. It was really good. But then it hit the kind of next phase. It kind of crept like onto this kind of middle kind of phase, which I have to say, it got a little bit much for me. It was really nice, but it was too much for my tastes. So what did it smell like? So the opening, say you had that rose and it was clean, soapy, and you had that citrus on the top as well that I mentioned. And you definitely had that red berry, right? So it's raspberry apparently in it. Yeah, definitely like a really big red berry. And as it moves into the middle, it just becomes like this red berry jam. And it's really nice. And it has that kind of candied violet, sort of soft powdery lavender, sort of mixed in with this really huge jammy like berry rose. And it was nice, and I really liked it. But it was very sweet, like seriously sweet, because then you got that tonka and the vanilla underneath that, and it felt a little bit headache-inducing to me. It was very heavy, like quite dense, and a little bit like, oh yeah, okay, this is a little bit much. And because, say, you were getting like the kind of the sweetness from the rose already that had that like kind of fresh greenness as well. But it obviously added in a bit of sweetness. Then you had that berry, which was just a massive sweetness. And you had the lavender and the violet. The violet was quite candied. And you know, the sweetness from the lavender as well. Lavender can be herbal, obviously, and green. But this was, for me, a bit more of a powdery floral lavender, which it was really nice. But when you mix all that together, it starts getting a bit like, when you had like tonka, like sort of a powdery, dusty tonka with like a bit of a vanilla, and it was all getting very sweet, very quick, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, I don't think there was anything wrong with it. It smelled gorgeous. It was beautiful. Really, it was. But just for my tastes, on me, it got a bit weary. And that lasted for about an hour. But then it moved into like its dry down stage, which I would say is still at. And it's beautiful again, and it's amazing. And so the difference really was that berry, and that's all it really is that as it moves into the dry down, the berry tones right back into the fragrance. You still get a bit of that kind of powdery lavender. You still get a little bit of that rose, but it has died back. The rose and the berry, for me, dial right back. And instead you get this like dusty tonka that's a little bit woody as well. Some of the sandalwood accord comes out a little bit. And probably the main sort of player in the dry down for me is this, it says here it's sandalwood and amber and tonka and vanilla in the base, but I feel like there's some sort of like ambergris leather accord sort of thing, like a kind of ambergris leather sort of vibe maybe, because you get this kind of suede-y, slightly woody, slightly ambery, suede-y, leathery kind of vibe come through, and it's a very soft leather. It's not rough, but it's not clean either. It is a little bit like a kind of like a soft suede-y leather, and that it's just really nice with this like dusty tonka and sort of again slightly dusty sort of violet and lavender kind of vibe, and it's really good. I really liked it. It's a really beautiful perfume, like all round, from start to finish. It's really a heavily beautiful perfume, but it has a few phases. Like I say, like when it starts, it's real soapy, really fresh, really clean, really nice, and I really like the rose and the berry and everything, like the citrus was really well done actually, because it wasn't big, it wasn't like a big citrus fragrance, but it was there for sure, and it really added a lot to the fragrance, I think, in sort of keeping it bright and up, and sort of weirdly quite thick citrus, which citrus is usually quite a thin scent, right? It's usually up at the top and just sort of slicing through, but I felt like it had some girth to it, like it had a bit of weight to it, which was interesting for a citrus. Really nice, I thought. Then that middle section for me bogged down, got a bit heavy, dropped a lot of the soapiness, like almost all of the soapiness, and moved into like a heavy, dense jam, very sweet. For me, just a little bit too sweet. Lasted about 1 hour and then moves into that, like begins moving into this kind of dry down phase, which gets very leathery, very ambery, slightly woody. Everything else just sort of drops down. Really nice though. I thought it was gorgeous and beautiful throughout. So, who do I think it's for? Very feminine, leans very feminine. The dry down is unisex, in my opinion, leaning feminine, but the other sort of like first 2 or 3 hours, I would say they lean quite heavily feminine. But yeah, like I say, like, if you're a guy, don't worry about it. You could wear this if you don't mind wearing like sort of something a bit more like sort of feminine. Dress it up or down. I think like in terms of like everything else, versatile as all hell. This is like 4 season, any situation, dress it up, down, whatever you want. You could wear this as like a signature everyday scent, I think. It's not offensive, it's clean, it's just nice and beautiful and pleasant, and really nothing wrong. If I was to have like, so am I going to buy it? Like, I guess like to try and kind of summarize what my thoughts on it, like, am I going to buy it? I haven't worked that one out yet. I think I possibly will. I really liked it, but I have some issues with it. Like, there is that middle section that I would struggle when every time I wear this. For like, I didn't dislike it, and it didn't, offend me or anything, but it just wasn't really my cup of tea. So I would have to kind of sit through that, and sometimes I don't really like that. But the thing is the start and the dry down is so worth it, I think, that maybe it's okay. So yeah, I'm probably going to buy it, but at the same time, I still haven't quite made up my mind, because it's also very beautiful, but it's a little bit safe, and a little bit. It's hard to call it completely one-dimensional, because it does sort of change as life goes on. At the start, I felt like it was quite one-dimensional. For the first sort of hour or so, I thought, this isn't really going anywhere, and if this stays like this, it's boring. But it did continue to change. So you wouldn't want to call it one-dimensional, but it's safe and clean, and there's not too much going on there. So then you've got to kind of make your mind up, like, well, if it's just a safe, clean perfume, is it really attractive enough? Like, in other ways, does it, and for me it does, though. It's really beautiful. It's a really beautiful rose perfume, and I really liked it. So that still doesn't really answer my question as to am I going to buy it. I think, should you buy it or should you sample it? I think if you're into like roses and berries and clean fragrances that are a bit sweet, yeah, why not? Give it a go. It's a really interesting kind of gourmand. It's not a gourmand, but it's got a lot of gourmandy facets, and I think it's a really interesting one. I think you'd be interested. If you don't mind sweet fragrances, yeah, why not? I think you'd be interested. Give it a sample. But if you're really interested in like kind of like darker, sort of like very sort of tumultuous, complex scents, this is not it. So then maybe, you're probably not going to be too interested. If you're not interested in soapy fragrances, the first couple of hours are going to be difficult, really. But if you don't mind that, again, give it a sample, I reckon. For me, I just don't know. I really like it. I probably what I think I'm going to do is wear it a few more times and try and make my mind up on it. But for right now, just to try and give you some kind of conclusions to my thoughts, I think it's really beautiful. I think it's worth a buy. Pretty sure I am going to buy it. Things that do put me off are that middle section, which for me is just a little bit too sweet, and the fact that it doesn't really go crazy. It doesn't really do anything to... It does things, but the things it does don't really sort of tickle my fancy like a great deal. It's really nice and it's really pretty, and I have perfumes that are just based, I enjoy wearing them based purely on that factor. But I don't wear them that often, so it will be one of those. It would join it fully join those on the shelves of like fragrances that are great and that I do enjoy wearing occasionally, but they don't get huge amounts of wear because I just don't find them that interesting. But you can't knock them as fragrances, if you know what I mean. Like it's a minor fault almost in a fragrance that's doing one particular job really well. At the end of the day, like you sometimes lose track of the fact that a perfume's just meant to smell nice, really. Do you know, and it does. It just fully does that. It's really nice. I really enjoyed it. So I don't know if I was very much clearer there or not. But I think I'm probably going to buy it. I think going that it's a rose that I'm this close to sort of thinking about buying probably means that if you're into roses at all, you might find interest in this, because I'm quite sort of fussy about roses and I don't really like them that much. So it says a lot in itself. But yeah, excellent fragrance, I thought. I really did like it. I thought it was very beautiful, very nice. Tauers Rose Vermeille. Definitely worth a sample at the very least. A really nice, clean, fresh fragrance that I think will work really well in spring and summer. But any time of year, really. But given that it's coming up to the spring and summer, I think I might buy it. I think I might be in. Nice one. So that's my thoughts, really, as clear as they're not, on Andy Tauers Rose Vermeille. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you all have a cracking Sunday evening, and I'll see you all real soon. I've got some really cool perfumes to be doing like reviews of that I picked up sort of over the last few weeks. I'll see you all real soon. Cheers. Thanks.